This is the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, Nick Aldis. If you're having trouble remembering it, just think of when you get Nick, you get all this. And I'm asking you to subscribe.
So, what's up, YouTube? So right now, we are here with the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, Nick Aldis. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Good. Thank you. Thank you for this time.
Oh, no worries.
So just have a couple questions for you, should be really quick. So, this title was established on July 14th, 1948. So that means that this year, it would be the 70th anniversary. So how does it feel to be the man that's actually carrying around this championship? Also being like someone for like my generation, because I'm only like 18 years old. So like I have a generation of people who
You're
never.
18 years old?
I'm 18.
Look at this guy.
I'm huge. I like to live a little bit.
It's frightening.
Just a little bit, you know, just a little bit. But for my generation, we didn't really know anything about the NWA.
Right.
Like when I really had a concept of wrestling, like it was like WrestleMania 25.
Sure.
So how does it feel to be the man that's actually bringing the title back and actually establishing it for like a new generation of wrestling
that's
fans?
very kind of you to say. I'm one of them. You know, I'm the champion, and obviously it's my responsibility to carry the title in the right way.
Yeah.
And look, I wasn't familiar with it either. You know, I'm 31, and you know, my generation, it was really unheard of, and especially in England. You know, WWF was wrestling to us. You know, the WCW obviously came along again in a big way in the late 90s, but even then, in comparison to how successful they were in the United States, they never really had that same footprint in the UK. They had a footprint, but it wasn't, to us, you know, WWF was still the show. Yeah. So I became familiar with this after becoming a student of the game. It wasn't like it wasn't like something that I went, wow, the NWA title. I was familiar with it to an extent, but I just thought of it as something that used to be a thing. Yeah. So then, you know, circumstances are what they were, and it came along, and the opportunity came along, and I had a feeling in my head that the way that the business was going, like a year ago, I felt like there was I felt like the time was right for this to come back. Like it had to go away for a while because it hadn't been treated very well. It had been, you know, not really positioned in the way it needed to be positioned. Yeah. But I was looking at the way that the business was shaking out as far as with this, you know, this monster over here at WWE that just dominates the market. But then the way the rest of it was sort of shaking out with Impact kind of going the way it's gone, and Ring of Honor sort of stepping up, and New Japan becoming more prevalent, and all these different. And I felt in my heart that there was an opportunity for the premise of a defined world champion in wrestling rather than in a promotion, in one federation. Yeah. I felt like there was a sort of appetite for that again, and you know, we so far we've been right. It's been, and I think that's one of the things that's resonating with people is that interest of now, especially because we're doing stuff with Ring of Honor, that there are other promotions, House of Hardcore, and other, even, you know, independent promoters. People start thinking like, oh yeah, like that's a champion that defends it all over the world, legit, you know, and that's been a very cool thing to be a part of. But ultimately, it's I have a certain set of responsibilities as champion that any champion does, and then that combined with the efforts of Dave Lagana and Billy and all the other people involved, you know, sort of on the periphery of the NWA, that's what's really brought it back to where it is now. Nice.
That was really interesting. Wow. Did not really think about it like that. That's really cool.
Just give me a little and I'll just get rolling.
Definitely. I think I have a couple that I can get you there. Well, something that's really unique about this brand is, well, there is no established roster currently. I don't know if that's something that's, you know, coming down the line. But as of right now, it's just yourself as a world champion, and it's essentially like the Nick Aldis show in a way. And you've wrestled for like TNA before, so like you've been around like a very big roster. And like within the NWA, like we bring in they bring in characters that will show like a background somewhat of them, and then leading into the match with you. So do you feel like eventually the NWA should establish like an actual roster and maybe events, or maybe you should just keep it how it is right now?
I try to avoid the word should. Okay. I think that's a very easy thing to fall into, and wrestling fans are obviously, you know, one of the things that's really great about wrestling fans, but can also be a little bit trying, is that they've all got an opinion, and they're all very adamant about their opinion is the right way to do. This is what they should do, and this is exactly what should be done. And, you know, the way I look at it is when so let's take when Floyd Mayweather fought Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Technically, in terms of contracts, that shouldn't have been able to happen because Floyd Mayweather isn't in the UFC. He's not under contract with the UFC. Conor McGregor is not a professional boxer, but he's got a license, and now guess what? He is. And you know, whenever these huge prize fights over the years that we've seen, like Mayweather Pacquiao. Mayweather's under contract to Showtime. Pacquiao was under contract to HBO. So again, it wasn't supposed to happen, but you can make it happen. And I think that this idea that a wrestling promotion is a touring company with a roster of wrestlers under full-time contracts that run shows and, you know, run television events and that's one way to do the model. But technically a promotion is really just an individual or a group of individuals who promote events, you know, and if the NWA so far, like we've proven, is able to put themselves in a position where there's enough prestige in the belt and there's enough interest in, you know, enough mutual interest financially and everything else, where they can get guys from Ring of Honor, they can get a guy from New Japan. Who's to say we couldn't get a guy from WWE? You know, that anything is possible. And like a year ago, who would have thought that the former TNA champion would be wrestling the former Ring of Honor champion for the NWA title at the, you know, the largest selling non-WWE event in almost 20 years. It's like there things can happen, and when you allow yourself, when others allow themselves that, you know, that open-mindedness and that possibility, you know, there's suddenly a whole lot of very exciting options, and I think that, was it necessarily what we had in mind at the beginning? No, but I think very quickly we realized how receptive some of these other big companies were, and we went, it might be a bit of, it's a real, people don't have any idea what a massive financial undertaking it is to do the pro wrestling model like WWE do it, which is, you know, like the touring events and television and signing a bunch of guys to it's an astronomical amount of money. And with the delivery systems in place now, like YouTube and all these other things, it's really, it's only one way to do it. There are other ways. And I think, so we inadvertently, through what we were doing, realized that there was an opportunity to almost present the prize fight style of promoting for pro wrestling. And that's kind of where we're at now. It's very cool, a very exciting place to be.
Nice. So actually, you talked about social media, and actually something that I wanted to talk about was, do you feel like social media is a positive or negative in wrestling? So like you have like promotions like House of Hardcore or like Wrestle Circus that stream their stuff on Twitch. And then NWA is essentially, like right now, it's a YouTube series. And then you have like Nova Pro, which we're at right now, is or they stream their stuff on Powerbomb.tv. So do you feel like social media has a good aspect in wrestling? It has changed wrestling for the better almost? Or do you feel like it still has some time to get there?
Pro wrestling is a genre of entertainment, like any sport or any form of entertainment is, and so like all of them, they've all suffered consequences and enjoyed benefits from social media. You know, the awareness is something that can be used really, really well, and with the way, again, the way the business is sort of shaken out with this giant WWE sort of dominating the mainstream sort of publicity for pro wrestling, you have to find a way to monetize the existing audience that are more interested in the rest of it, whilst trying to grow your own audience or bring in new eyeballs. The ability to get on a computer and say, I want to target anyone who's expressed any interest in the NWA or Nick Aldis or Cody or whoever within, you know, in the whole world, and I'll pay and I'll hit send, and now they all get to see it. I mean, it's, you know, it's amazing. It's a completely different, you know, so, but at the same time, you know, it can be frustrating in the sense of it's difficult to do things the way you used to do them. But hey, that's life, you know. Like you can get upset and you know, stomp around about it, or you can just accept it and go, okay, well, what are the things we can, what are the benefits to this, and how are the positive ways to use this, and that's sort of what we're doing. Again, you just got to be smart. The problem with social media is, I saw this great tweet once. I don't know who it was, and it was like a graphic, and it said when Twitter first came out in like whatever it was, like 09 or 08, whatever. I went, wow, this is great. Everybody has a voice, and then like they fast forward like to 2016 with the election, and it just became such a cesspit for a while. Yeah. And it was like, this is terrible. Everybody has a voice. Yeah. So it's kind of like, and that's the same with wrestling. It's like you see some guys who are like, you're really good at this, and then you see other guys and you think, you should stay away from here, like, and it's kind of like, it's just using it sparingly and look, and I'm not suggesting that I'm an expert at all, sometimes there's some stuff I've put out and I've gone, oof, especially if you go back and look at, stuff you did from like 5 years ago or stuff, and you go, wow, that was bad, like what were we doing, but it's just, you just got to be smart and just, there are all these different ways now, and if you use them all, everything has to fit together. That's the way I look at it now.
All right, nice. So, we're still speaking about the NWA World Title. I mean, you defended the title against almost everyone all across the world. You've gone in China against Colt Cabana. You've been in the UK against David Starr. You've been in Maryland against Brandon Scott. You've been basically all over the world. So, coming up soon, when this video actually goes up, you'll be at Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. You'll be defending the title against Crimson and Josephus. Yep. Crimson's someone that you know very well from your history with each other. Yep. And then also Josephus is someone who really seems to want to hold that championship. Well, and it seemed to be like these guys almost like had like a little pact, like they wanted them to walk out as champion. So are you afraid like the odds might be stacked against you?
Look, there's a lot of people who want to walk out with the 10 pounds of gold.
That's true. Okay? Like you have someone here tonight that wants to.
Sure.
Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, it comes down to this, and this might hurt their feelings. I don't really care. The fact of the matter is, you can be a great talker. You can be a very compelling character. You can be an army grunt. You can be a guy who commands a lot of respect.
Yeah.
At some point, that bell has to ring.
That's true.
And when you weigh up those three, when that bell rings, who's the best guy in there?
That would be you.
By a country mile.
Exactly. I definitely wasn't about to say
Josephus. And the fact of the matter is that those guys, the only thing they can agree on is that they don't like me.
Yeah.
The only thing they can agree on is they want to knock me off. Well, look, there's a lot of people out there that want to knock me off. But
it's two of them at the same time. I mean, that's two guys.
It would take two of them to pack 8 lunches, and it would take them all day just to give a shot. And that ain't going to happen. I will play them like fiddles. I will create traps for them. They will walk into them, and I will walk out with the 10 pounds of gold. And I will make someone tap out in a 3-way. I'm putting it down right now. Submission.
That was intense. Wow, I did not expect all that.
It ain't gonna be a little roll up.
Oh.
Out of nowhere.
Okay.
I'm making someone tap.
Oh wow. I mean, like,
mark my words.
The fiddles, the lunch. He's winning. I can't deny it. Look at him. He got the title. He has a nice sunglasses. Yes. This thing going on in his hair. It looks really nice.
I'm waiting for you to step up and challenge.
Are you
getting into business or what?
Yes, I am. I'm starting in 2 weeks.
Okay. Where are you going?
Crab wrestling.
I don't know where that is.
That's in Ridge, Maryland.
Okay.
And just give me like a week. I'll be ready.
All right.
Yeah, we'll see. I might take it from you. Just a week. Just a week. That's all I need.
Well, just FYI, I was a full-time wrestler by the time I was 18, but no big deal.
Okay. Well, FYI, I'm a full-time YouTuber, and that really means nothing. But we still have to talk about another championship match that you do have coming up soon. Or not really soon, but it's in September, at an event called All In. Now you'll be defending the title against Mr. Rhodes or Cody, but with that, you call yourself the dealer. Now, Cody has to win the Ring of Honor World Championship at Best in the World in order for him to, be able to challenge you for this.
That's not necessarily true. Cody, there's been a bit of confusion about this. Let me clear it up.
Go ahead.
Cody made a challenge for the 10 pounds of gold.
He did.
I feel like he's very qualified to do so. I was all right with it.
Yeah.
I wish he'd called me first, and I made that clear. But nonetheless, I'm a man of my word.
Exactly.
And I agreed that what kind of champion would I be if I didn't defend it against guys who truly deserve it.
Okay.
That's a man who deserves it, 100%. Okay. But when I found out that he had another championship match between now and All In, I said, okay, we've worked out all the other little wrinkles here. Okay, this is business.
That's
okay,
true.
It's professional wrestling.
Professional, not ballet.
Yeah,
no.
It's pro. Emphasis on pro.
Definitely.
And some of those things don't need to be discussed in public. But I'm a businessman. And then there was one last wrinkle, and I said, okay, Some people might have thought it was a little frivolous to go all the way to London just to make this thing, but that's the way I roll.
I mean, you do have social media now.
These are
you can
my
use
people.
Twitter. You can use Twitter. Twitter videos.
Sometimes Twitter's not the right way to go.
Hey, that's true. Respect.
Okay.
Respect.
And I became aware of the fact that he was in a 3-way match with Dalton Castle, the reigning champion, and Marty Scurll, a good friend of mine, for the Ring of Honor World Championship. So I said, well, look, if this guy has the opportunity to walk in to a championship match with another established World Championship, if he does hold that championship, he has to put that one on the line. That doesn't necessarily dictate, because to me, this is the World Championship, all right? If the Ring of Honor one is available, I'm going to go for it. But to me, this is the World Championship. This is the World Championship. All I was saying was, should Cody happen to win the Ring of Honor Championship, then he puts that one on the line as well.
Okay. So if he is successful, which
the event is called All In.
That's true.
I mean, he's got what All In is all in, all your chips,
everything. So if you do actually win both championships, actually you will win both championships, I should say that. Which one will be a little more important to you? Will it be the world's title, or I think you just answered my question.
70 years.
Yes, sir.
Dory Funk Jr., Jack Briscoe,
Very
Terry
impressive.
Funk, Harley Race, Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, Kerry Von Erich, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Nick Aldis. Yeah.
You said that, not me.
Right up there.
But my point being that, to me, you cannot buy history.
Yeah.
Well, Billy Corgan can. But now you can't buy history. And there's no other championship in the world that has the lineage of this. And based on what we've done in 1 year. Remember Billy Corgan talking about his 20-year plan?
Yep.
We're 1 year in. Less than 1 year in.
Just one.
And look where we're heading.
Wow.
So how does the other 19 look now?
Very impressive.
That's what I thought.
Very
Yes, sir.
impressive. Oh, wow. That kind of defeated my whole entire question right there. But I do have a final one. I think you'll like this one the most.
All right.
I think you really will. If you had to put that title on the line in a sold-out Wembley Stadium, it would be Nick Aldis versus Oblivion. Who would win?
Now, you just told me that I was going to like this question.
I thought you would.
And then you could present a completely asinine and ridiculous scenario.
Well, I was trying to make you laugh.
Oblivion was a great character.
It was a big O.
He was.
Yeah.
And I was very proud of him, and he did a lot for me. He kicked the door down for me, for my springboard in my entire career. But he was just a portion of Nick Aldis.
Oh. Yeah.
Oblivion was one portion. Agnes was another portion. But what you're looking at now is the whole thing.
Oof. 50-50? 100?
No. They were maybe 20.
Oh, my fault.
Now you're looking at the full 100. And I keep it 100 everywhere I go. Shout out to Conan.
Wow, that's really gangster.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that. I like that.
Dog.
Nice. So, that is pretty much all my...
JoJo.
I won't. No, sir. But that was pretty much all my questions. You aced all those questions I had, except for that last one. I was hoping you were going to like it a little bit more. I thought we had something going. I thought you were going to laugh, but I went through a lot of time looking that up. Can I just get a little chuckle?
You were close.
Can I get a little chuckle?
Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Hashtag Jesse Ventura, legend.
Well, I lost to Nick Aldis today. I guess
you got some knowledge, my friend, but you don't have the life experience yet.
I mean, yeah, that's true. I'll work on it.
Yeah.
I don't know how I can work on it except for live, but that's what I plan on doing. And one day I will challenge you for this NWA World Heavyweight Championship.
Well, bring the lettuce if that slug on your face hasn't finished eating it, but
Well, ouch. That was the interview with Nick Aldis. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Apparently there's something in my face that likes lettuce. It's just hurtful. Goodbye.
Front row jacket, tailor-made. Crackhead swag with the razor blades. Red umbrella when I make it rain. My whole team winning, we don't play a game. Sound like me, but